Good afternoon, and yes, you are tuned on to the most entertaying and educative program right here on JoyPrime. We give you all the things you need to make your family units tighter. My name is Movi Hayford, but as you already know, people prefer to use MTM as short for Movi the Motivator. Welcome to Home Affairs once again. I'd like to thank my crew who are just awesome on a daily basis. Like seriously, they got our backs. Yes, apart from God, obviously, because he's the one holding this thing together, you know. Make sure you're putting your trust in him, though, because at the end of the day, he's the one who has the last say. You already know that when I look good is because of a couple of people. Susanna Creator, thank you so much for styling me today. Double Chris Collection for this beautiful dress. I feel very girly. And, of course, I did my own makeup. These days, I'm doing my own makeup. And people are actually requesting that I give tips on the internet. I don't know how that's going to work out, but maybe we should have a workshop so that I can teach you a few things, you know. But remember that we have an in-house doctor now who educates us about, you know, some of the illnesses that are not out there. We need to be made aware of some of these things so that when we come across it or encounter it in our families and, you know, when our colleagues get it, we know the information to give them. This is why Dr. Hannah Lisa is here. Please take it away.
Hello everyone. I'm very happy to have you today too on the Health Zone. My name is Dr. Hannah Lisa and you're welcome to the Health Zone of Home Affairs. Today we're discussing chickenpox. I know most of you have seen people with chickenpox, so let's just add a little to the very much that I'm sure you already know. Chickenpox is a viral disease, it's contagious, it's caused by varicella zoster virus, and it presents as an itchy rash. What happens is that it can be spread when you go into contact with the person or by air. I'm sure that's what most of you don't know about. That when somebody who has chickenpox coughs or sneezes, you can get chickenpox through the droplets. There are other signs and symptoms to look out for. Well, of course, the telltale sign is the rash, but there are other things to look out for. There are certain people that present with fever, headache, they feel like vomiting, they're generally so tired. People present with that when they have chickenpox. Now for the rash appears in 3 different forms. So we could have the bumps, that's papules as we call it. They are bumps, pink or red bumps. Then we could have the vesicles or blisters. So you realize that there are some that have fluids in them. They are fluid-filled blisters. Then we have the crusts and the scabs. Those ones are when the blisters break off and they are healing, there are hardened parts on them, and then you see that on the skin. But you can have somebody who has all these 3 forms of the rash on their body. In fact, that's what happens most of the time. The symptoms too can present 10 to 21 days after you come into contact with somebody with chickenpox, and mostly last from 5 to 10 days. Now, there are some people who are at risk of chickenpox. You'd ask yourself, is everybody at risk? You are at risk if you've never had chickenpox before and if you've never been vaccinated. Once you've had chickenpox before and you've been vaccinated, you are immune. Although there are instances where people who have had it before have it again. But then the good news is that those people, it's milder in them, and then the rash is not as extensive as it is in people who've never had it before. Now, there are some people who are also at risk of complications of chickenpox. I bet you didn't know that chickenpox has complications. Yes, sometimes you can get pneumonia from chickenpox. You can become very dehydrated. Some people have brain inflammation known as encephalitis. What happens in this particular case is that in chickenpox, when it comes to its complications, there are certain people who are more prone to having these ones, and that is newborn babies. That's people who are immunocompromised, people whose immunity has come down. So you realize that these people are either having certain diseases that affect their immunity, like HIV, or they're taking medications like chemotherapy drugs, and this reduces their immunity. Also, pregnant women are at a risk of complications. And when this happens, when you're pregnant and you get chickenpox, you have a child with complications. The child can have low birth weight. The child can have limb abnormalities. That's the problems with the hands and legs when the child is born. So all these things are things to look out for. So for the chickenpox rash, mostly you see it over the entire body, but there are certain instances where it's seen in the throat, in the eyes, in the anal opening, as well as other parts of the body as well. Treatment of chickenpox is aimed at making you comfortable whilst the disease runs its normal course. So you may be given pain medications to relieve you of your pain. You may be giving medications if there's an itch. And if there's a secondary infection associated with the chickenpox or there's a complication, you may need to be hospitalized and then the particular complication is treated. Thank you very much for joining me on the Health Zone of Home Affairs. My name is Dr. Hannah Lisa. See you next week. Bye.
So there you have it, chicken pox and its treatment. Make sure, especially for those of you who have children, I mean, they are very prone to, contracting chicken pox from another kid in the nursery or whatever school they go to. So be careful, please be on the lookout. When your kids are ill, please don't assume it's malaria because we live in this part of the world. I'm not referring to you though, but I'm just saying, and the doctors to important was in one bad hospital where my poncho won't run tests rather than feeling the head and temperature and malaria, and you're treating malaria. You're treating the wrong illness. So let's all be very, very careful the kind of doctors we put our lives and trust our lives with, because seriously, these days that's why you have to listen to Dr. Hannah Lisa every single day on Home Affairs, every Sunday, that is. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we're talking about positively empowering women. I thought empowering, is already a positive word, but hey, positively empowering women is our topic today. Welcome back on the show. So as you already know, there's lots more that happens on this show. We activate the phone line so that you can call us. Phone lines na emi na wo na me guest ya bon komo about nsama ye boy na no nde. So please make sure that you're calling us when we open the phone lines. It's 0302-211-70124. That's the number. The numbers, those are the numbers. So make sure you're calling. And I'm sure Steve will put it on your screens as well. Many thanks to Tina, my camera lady. Many thanks to McCarthy, my camera guy. And Fruit was lurking around somewhere. Everybody who makes the show happen. Thank you all so much. Okay, Osmosis, my sound guy, MCR, everyone, editor, graphics, props, lighting, sound, all of you guys. Thank you so, so, so much. Now it's time to introduce you to my guests who are definitely going to add some color. I mean, every single time I see these two, I know there's going to be a plethora of wisdoms, for real, because they are all filled with lots of it. And I always tap into it. I'm sure they get exhausted every time they leave here because wisdom not me also papa. Please help me welcome my very first guest. Obviously, ladies first always. She is not a stranger to this set. Oh, Madame Sylvia Ajay, CEO of Silver Beads. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Today they are advertising your company. Nyaguro. Looking beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how's your Sunday been so far?
It's been good. Church is good.
Wow. You go to church every Sunday?
Yeah, I do, because I play a very important role in church.
What do you do?
I'm part of counseling team.
Oh, I see. Wow. So who did you counsel today?
Today I have a couple. The youth, I counsel the youth actually.
Okay.
So I had a couple that I talk to all the time.
Oh, a couple. Every
There are
Sunday.
about 3 sets of people.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like couples, like counseling, like married people.
Yeah, they're getting married.
Okay.
So we prepare them for.
So what do you tell them?
I tell them what it takes, what they need to know, how to be patient in marriage, and things they have to observe.
Right.
And a whole lot, yeah.
So have they ever come back to say, okay, what this thing that you told me, I'm trying to put it to work, but I don't know how.
Yeah, of course, they may not have everything at the back of their mind, but in case they face any problems, which is bound to come, they can come for post counseling,
Right.
post-marital counseling.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many couples have you counseled that are married now?
Three have married.
Amazing. So how long have
We
you
have
been
3
doing
more.
this?
Oh, it's been a while, barely 2 years.
Okay.
Barely 2 years.
So obviously you're doing very well.
Yes,
No
and I
complaints
enjoy
so
doing
far.
it. Not really.
Do you
Enjoy
have
my time with them.
an ambition to preach at some point in your life? I mean,
To preach, I wouldn't say yes, but to talk about marital issues,
right.
I'm so passionate about that, and so I always read towards it, and I have a lot to
Amazing.
offer.
Oh, wow. So how's your love life, though?
It's not bad at all. It's working out for me.
Wow. How
Yeah,
long has it
is.
been?
You do want to know?
We really want to know.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not bad. It's growing.
It's growing.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're
That-
putting everything in practice.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm sure you,
So I'm a
you
case
have all
study
the
for
tips.
those I'm talking with.
You have all the tips.
Sure, for real.
Oh, wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest, he is the papa of this house. I'm telling you, when we want a preacher or obviously a positive male figure, this is the picture that sticks out in my mind. Apparently, when you go on Google and you Google idiots, Donald Trump his picture comes up. I wanted to try it, but I was like, nah. But when you go on Google and you put wisdom, Reverend Daniel Annan will pop up for real. Man of wisdom. In fact, you should change your name to Solomon Annan because no too much.
We are just trying.
And he's so modest, actually.
Yeah, that's
How's the
right.
family?
They are good. They are doing well. They are
Wow.
now at home.
Watching.
They have come home.
Oh, wow.
The
So
school people
I'm sure, you
That
know,
means you have to
our
go for
young-
examination. And critical
They're
scrutiny.
watching and criticizing and critiquing and all of that.
You need to have that. There's always the need to get a feedback.
Right.
Feedback is very necessary in whatever you do.
Yeah.
It makes you prepare for the next assignment. It makes you correct. It makes you feel that there's something I need to press on to. There's always the necessity for feedback. It's good.
Some people don't take kindly to feedback though. They think that they know it all, they are perfect, they have it all going for them, they are rich, they are knowledgeable, educated. So how dare you come and tell me what to do? Do you know some people like that?
It's a recipe for disaster.
Oh.
Yesterday, Ochame Kwame was being interviewed on restoration. Do you know what he said? A madman gave him an advice, and that changed his life.
Wow.
Madman.
But why do we think that mad people don't have any?
Just as I am was sung by a madman. The only thing that we need to do as a person is how you perceive things. The perceptions of life is very necessary to the development of whether career or marriage or whatever you are doing. You need to have a better perception of life.
Right.
When you have a better perception of life, you develop the ears to listen to others. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do whatever they are saying.
Right.
But you need to decipher between the information that you've received and look at that which is relevant at a particular time and make it useful. And that brings the shining out of you.
Right. Amazing words right there. We haven't even started yet, but look, he's on a roll. Anyway, we're discussing empowering women. I want to start with you, Rev. When it comes to empowerment, women empowerment, in this day and age, what do you think of it? Have we progressed or,
Not really. We've not made much. In our part of the world, the cultural settings and the traditional things that hangs around our neck always tends to belittle the values of a woman. It's quite unfortunate. But when you go to the advanced countries, you see Ghana here, it will be very difficult for you to have a female president. Very.
Why?
It should be, but it will be very difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Okay.
Because of the cultural setting around us. Now, women empowerment is very necessary. In fact, it's simply moving the woman from here to there.
Right.
Simple meaning. When we say we are empowering women, It means we want to take you from where you are to an expected end.
Right.
So what are we talking about? There are 5 things you need to kill before you empower every woman. 1, your perceptions. What people say about
The
you.
lady or the person
The woman.
empowering? Okay.
The woman. I'm addressing women who are watching. You know, Movi, your show is just an educational platform. This is what you are doing now.
Tell the sponsors that.
No, this is what you are doing now. That if you want to move a woman from here to there, first, you need to change your perceptions. What people say you are not. It's about what God has said about you. And living your dream is what will make you who you should be.
Wow.
That's the first perception. So don't always be so much invested in what people are saying. You are this, you are that, you are not that. The second thing we need to do, we need to die to self, die to your past. Your past.
Right.
Your past is there to guide you, but they have no influence to your future. So you need to die to it. So don't kill it, die to it. It's dead. And bury it.
Right.
Don't allow it to resurrect. 3, we need to have critical thinking nowadays. If you want to empower yourself as a woman, critical thinking is very necessary. When I talk about critical thinking, we'll have to help people develop how to think. Them are watching. When everybody thinks, but what do you think about?
Right.
What do you think about? What should we think about? What should lead to our development? 1 is you can develop objective thinking. Don't think about anything useless.
Right.
Things that are valuable. You can be, for instance, when I look at you, you have creative thinking. Yes, true. You watch my Auntie Sylvia. She has bottom line thinking.
Oh, wow.
Bottom line thinkers are people, they want to know what is down that will help us push up. So, how do you think?
So what are the types of thinking? Bottom, critical?
We have creative thinking, we have bottom line thinking, we have strategic thinking. Strategic thinking are people who are managers, people who cast visions and those things. We have realistic thinking.
Is it every manager that has strategic thinking?
Okay,
because
so
I know some managers who...
If they are not, you have to change the person.
Okay.
Because I'm well. Because you need to look ahead. And we have realistic thinking. Realistic thinkers are people who engage themselves in law firms and advocates and those things. They are realistic. Then we have big picture thinkers. They are people who think big.
Presidents.
Visionaries. Yes. If you're a president, you are not a big picture thinker. Why should I follow you? You should.
Oh, okay.
You should be a big picture thinking. You should look beyond. Look at what Martin Luther King said.
I know.
You listen to his speech. He looked into 60 years and said a black man is going to be the next president of the United States of America. Didn't it come to pass? He did.
Yeah.
Look at Kwame Nkrumah. He saw Ghana 50 years next. So he started building industries. Now we are going back. So when
I was just about to say that.
so we need, what we are trying to do on this platform is don't exhaust your mind, but invest your mind into what to think about. Because what you think about is what you are going to practice, and that will make you who you should be. Right. So we need to help people in thinking. Thinking will help you develop a purpose. Wallet we are here, it's what are you doing? What do you want to achieve?
Right.
What is your goal? Where do you want to be in the next 20 years? And so Home Affairs is trying to let you know that if you want to be an empowered woman, you need to invest into how to think. There are so many. We will just...
Wow, fantastic. Now, he's talking about, thinking and obviously killing your past and all of those things that, hinder a lot of women from progressing. But is it every woman who is in a high place who is empowered?
Not necessarily so. When you are a woman and you have to be empowered, all I'll say that the greatest adventure in your life is to live your dream. You can't just live anyhow and expect to be great. It doesn't work that way. When you live your dream, that is the motivational speech of Oprah Winfrey. He tells you to live your dream. When you live your dream, you have to think ahead. Put something in your mind. Focus on something and aspire to get there.
So live your dream.
Exactly.
Basically, like
live your dream, yes. And I will say that, okay, if you put those 3 keys in your mind, you have to get the passion for it. When you have a dream, everybody can dream, but have a passion for that which you said you are dreaming about. And then persevere. Be persistent at it. If you have a dream and you have a focus, work towards it. Push yourself a bit higher. You can't be in your comfort zone and say that I have a dream and I'm working towards it. That will not be enough still. But when you persevere, you put away all odds. No matter what, who said you will not face any obstacles? You will. People will throw stones at you, but you have to stop and look at them.
Right.
You don't have to. So you look forward, persevere, because many people can be famous for one thing or the other. But to get to greatness, it takes a determined service. So you have to put your mind, your soul, and your spirit into what you are doing and do it better and acquire knowledge in that field, so you can impact many more lives than you ever think you can.
Right. Now, there are a lot of women on TV these days, you know, some for positive things, some for not so positive things, but even those women, I don't want to mention any names, are seen as mentors. You know, young women coming up are looking up to some of these women who are in, should I say, showbiz for the wrong reasons. You know, they're doing negative things to get famous. Now, what do you say about the kid who sees this woman as, oh my gosh, this is my mentor, this is my role model, I want to be just like her? If your child, God forbid, where's the wood, touch wood, comes to you and says, one of these women who obviously society even acknowledges them for negative things is their role model, how would you, should I say, precondition your child to understand that, my daughter, this is the wrong path? Or do you even tell them?
Yes, you have to. You see, people get to like others for some strange reasons, but they are not so much important. Now, if a person is watching, get your kid around you and listen to Home Affairs. No, it's true.
He's an advocate for Home Affairs.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because, you see, your child wants to be like a certain person on television, and that person's motive is wrong. The motive is wrong. The purpose is diverted. So what do you have to do? Home Affairs is telling you that, first of all, we should help that child to develop his or her own purpose. What are you good at?
Right.
What do you find yourself doing and you are so passionate about? When Madam was talking, something you love to do, something you want to die for.
Right.
So you begin to let the child identify her potentials or his potentials. Then the next stage you help the child to do is to think, where do you want that thing to lead you to? So you are now changing the focus from that woman to himself or herself. So that the person begins to realize, this is what I want to be, and this is what I want to live for. Then the next stage, I call it willing, developing how to make decisions and choices.
So their willpower.
Their willpower, thank you.
Right.
That's what I just said. Help people, these are critical things. Dreams, passions, willpower. Because you ask yourself, a lot of people have followed others for wrong reasons.
But some girls don't even know that they have the power
Yes.
to make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
They look up to their, you know,
Teachers,
for it. How do we bring that out? How do we let them, you know, the young girl child, you know, realize that I have potential as well?
When you are a parent, and when you want the child to know that there is something within, create an environment for that child.
Right.
To communicate. Create an environment for the child to talk to you. whether it makes sense or not, create an environment that a child can willingly communicate with you. When the communication starts, don't be the person who will always be chastising them.
Right.
And begin to tell them there's nothing, you cannot do anything, I don't abandon. No. Encourage it. The little things that they do, encourage them. Wow, this is great. My daughter took a picture today in the car. So, wow, this is so nice. So you took another one. By the time I was aware, he has loaded 44 pictures on my own. And he sent it. But what am I trying? I've created, yes. So what next? This picture is very good. The way you took it, where you took the shot, it means you can be focused. So I'm using that picture to tell my daughter how to focus. Focus on your education.
Wow.
Focus on your career building. Focus on your image building as a person. When you're going out, don't mess up because you are writing a letter about yourself. So focus on your education, focus on your cleanliness, focus on your socialization, the choices and decisions that you need to make. When you begin to do that, you take the little things and begin to tell them. When you do that, the child will build confidence. It doesn't build all of a sudden, but let's start from 0 and get to 2. Then let's grow it from 2 to 10. When you create that environment and the child is able to talk to you, you'll be able to help that child identify his or her purpose and let them live their dream.
I love that. So he's talking about obviously identifying the strengths of a child, but do parents, I don't know whether you know of any typical Ghanaian, parents who don't know how to teach their kids to love themselves. It's like every single time they open their mouth, it's about something negative. It's never about, oh, you're good at this. Oh, you should love yourself for this. Oh, you're beautiful. I hardly hear Ghanaian parents say that. So how should we train these parents, I guess, to...
In this day and age, I think many more people have deviated from that pull and made the child shut up and that sort of thing. It's past.
Really?
Now we listen to the children and take the little mistakes they do to correct them, because if you don't engage your child and you assume when an elderly person is talking, my child shouldn't talk and that's tough, she'll bottle all those negatives and those mistakes in him or her. And then in later time, when you are in public or you are among people, he'll get the freedom to speak. Then she'll rather mess you up. She'll disgrace you because you didn't allow her to make those mistakes at home to be corrected. You always, as soon as the person opens his or her mouth, shut up. Mom is talking, daddy is talking, you don't talk back. But those are the time in our age.
You think that people are doing a better job at parenting now?
Most people are now getting to know the age we are now. This is the time we listen to the kids.
But the kids are not as respectful as back in the day.
They wouldn't be. You have to put them into that track. They wouldn't be. At first, when your child is talking, you don't allow their child to talk. So how will you know what he's got to say?
I think we should come back to this because I can see Reverend wanting to speak on it. I'm sorry, we have to take a short break. But when we come back, Sylvia, you continue with that statement. We're taking a short break. Back in a bit. Okay, as I said, the phone lines will be activated so you can call in. 0302-211-70124 is the number. And I'd like to recommend Skyscraper for every single parent out there to go watch it with your kids. It's exciting. I did it with Shalom yesterday and we had a ball, I must say. Gave us a lot to talk about, really. But as I said, Sylvia was making... I'm sorry we had to cut you so abruptly. But please finish your statement about what you were...
As I was talking, I said, if your child is making a statement, until you listen, you can't correct the person. So it's good for us. It's our time we listen to the children. Their age, they are on the internet. They see all those things. In our age, we didn't have that access. So it's better you outline some things for them that they can easily identify with. There are some that are not too good. There could be programs on the TV that you realize, no, this is not good for my child at this age. And you have to tell your child why it's not good for the person, for the child. Because if you just say stop, and you didn't explain, you say, why did you say I should stop? You need to let the person know and understand. As soon as the child understands, she will not repeat herself.
Okay, we have Kenny on the line. Rev, I'll come to you because you were eager to comment. Hello, Kenny.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for calling. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm really enjoying the program so much.
Thank you.
And I like the repository of wisdom of the old man over there.
Hey, he's a very funky old man, so be careful.
I see.
Please go ahead.
He's really making a lot of sense. And he was this point that he made. I think it has to do with women empowerment. Women empowerment. And I think it has to do with Ghanaians, our culture. You know, that the culture has become an impediment on the women. That they can't even, you know, move out in their totality to do what they have to do. So I think it has a lot of discussions are made for that limitations to be placed on them so they can, you know, explore in their own way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Kenny, you should come into the studios and talk sometime.
Yeah, I'll make time over.
So drop your number for us, okay?
That's okay.
Thank you. Okay, so you know the number. It's on your screens, right? So call us. But Rev, very quickly before I go to my next question.
I think it's very, very necessary because Home Affairs, I always say Home Affairs because, you see, you can only teach what you know. We are here developing a curriculum for people, parents, that this is what you need to do. When the person is adolescent or is a kid, what do you have to do? How to engage them, how to communicate with them. When you empower women, one of the things that is so necessary is to how they could communicate. When you look at these beauty pageants who are being groomed, one of the things that they teach them is how to talk.
Yeah.
You empower the person as to listen, the choice of words, how the posture of talking, the verbal communication, the non-verbal communication. When you're able to communicate well, your value as a woman comes up. When people hear you, they want to listen to you the next time.
We have Ernestine on the line. I'll comment on the pageant. I met a queen and I was not happy. Hello, Ernestina.
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. How are you?
Yeah. Yes, I've been following your program a lot.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yes. The problem is, I'm excited that I don't have the heart to listen to my children. And because of this program, I have learned something about it, and I'm very sorry about myself that I treated my children so wrongly.
Oh.
So God should bless you that you helped me today.
Thank you so much.
I've learned a lot. My children, my husband is not having time to help me to take care of the children. So it's like the pressure is on me, 4 children alone.
Wow.
For small thing they do to me, it's like I'm shouting on them, insulting them and all that. But today, you've really helped me.
Thank God.
I'm praying that I will not continue doing that to my children.
Anytime you feel like shouting, just tell them to come and hug them and just be quiet for just 1 minute. Hug them, and then when you pull them away, you tell them that, you know what, I'm angry, but let's talk about it. Why did you do what you did? Tell mommy, and mommy will find a solution for you. Let them know that you are there for them. Okay? You're doing great so far. I mean, just admitting it alone. Wow. I'm sure your kids have a bright future now. From today, you are a changed woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Oh my goodness. Some of the kids, they make you want to go crazy though. I know. But, taking a deep breath. I mean, with the pressure from your husband not being there alone. So just cool your temper and then, attend to your kid as a kid. All right? Ellen Bellem. Bye,
Yeah, by Moby, how are you?
I'm blessed. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Please go ahead.
Yes, Moby, it's been a long time
It
I've
has.
called on your show.
It has.
It's been a long time.
It has.
Moby, once again, women in general, they have refused to empower themselves. Really, they feel they when a man marries them, their duty is to cook in the house. They don't necessarily think that they should be industrious. They should be a woman of substance, a woman who wants to achieve another level.
Yeah.
And generally, women are also enemy of their own self.
Hey,
They feel that they don't want their colleagues to also live to another pedestrian. They feel that women that should not deserve to be in a position. That attitude, inculcating in women, have put women in this level. So I'm urging women in general to push their colleagues ahead, inculcating them, telling them to do the right, and telling them some of the women sit down in their house, holding their hands, not even doing nothing. They want the man to go out and bring food on the table for them. You are there, you will have your hand. You can also create something by yourself and do something to help the man. So when the man is maybe the man lost the job or the job is no more, the woman can also help. At the end of the day, women are sitting there and they dress very well, going to parties, buying all these things. Instead of them to use their money to empower themselves, they are not ready. So who should do it? So I'm urging the Ministry of Gender to find organizing programs like this, maybe a forum to educate women.
Ministries is the Marlboro one. You approach them, it will take forever.
Become a meaningful people in the side. I don't agree that me supporting women to be empowered, but they themselves are not ready to be empowered.
Empowered. Thank you so much. Okay. Wow. That was. Hello, Joyce. Hello, Joyce. Auntie Joyce.
Hello.
Thanks for calling. How are you?
I'm fine.
Please go ahead.
Okay. What I want to say is that it looks like in Ghana there are too many judges for women. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Mute your
too
TV.
many judges, and so it doesn't help women to develop themselves. All this empowerment stuff, I think we should give women some freedom to grow, make mistakes, and then correct themselves along.
I think we have that. We have freedom to grow in Ghana.
If there are too many judges, it's like whatever women do, so many people judging them, you should have done it this way, a woman should live this way, a woman should live that way. It's like, it gets us confused. Even when you are doing the right thing, you are afraid to make mistakes because so many people have their eyes on you, and it's like, women, they define you and
But haven't you seen a woman also judging another woman? I mean, if we ourselves, women, amongst our own selves, we're always judging our fellow women, how do we expect the men to, not judge and just sit and watch? So I think it starts with myself and Sylvia and Tina and every single woman alive to make this unit, a cohesive one. Oh, unfortunately, your TV is on, so we can't hear you. But, yeah. So...
Yeah, that's why you have to be focused. If you are focused and you have something ahead of you, something you are looking up to, you just have to acquire knowledge in that area.
Yeah, but sometimes we talk about being focused, but some of these women in high places are so focused on them rising that they don't see any other woman to pull along. I mean, how can we stop that from happening? Women in high places usually do not want other women to come along. Why? What is that?
I don't know. It's a certain attitude when people are selfish.
Okay.
In empowerment, apart from all that we have talked about, the greatest achievement is how much you have invested in somebody and seeing somebody grow.
Right.
My greatest success is not what I've achieved. It's about people I've trained.
Right.
That's why my success was measured. So that when Pastor Dan is not around, there will be a lot of Pastor Dan.
To represent
That is my vision.
Your legacy.
Exactly. So any person who is a dreamer, Moses is a good leader because he throned Joshua. Joshua was a bad leader because after Joshua, nobody else.
Wow. We have another caller waiting. Hello? Hello, Uma.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. Please speak up and please turn your TV on mute.
Okay. My name is Uma, calling from Tamale.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. So what I want to add is children are gifts from God. Hello?
We're listening.
Okay, I'm saying children are gifts from God. So if somebody gives you something,
Please speak up.
you have to protect it in a way that when this person will be happy. And it could be source of joy for you.
Wow, thank you. I barely hear him though, but thank you for your call. I'm sure someone at home heard. But do we even encourage the woman to do what her heart's desires are? Like, you know, your daughter comes to you and says, oh, I want to, you know, be a pilot or an engineer or a constructor or something. And the first thing most parents would say is, oh, but I see you as a lawyer. You know, it's like parents are not excited about their kids' desires. How can we change that?
Yeah, sometimes they make desires on things that are not realistic. You can see the person, you are older, so maybe you've been monitoring this child, and you know this child is good at maybe fine art, and the child will come and say, Mommy, I think I want to be a doctor. Fine, you are young yet, so let's see how it goes. Just expose the person to what you think is good for her, and expose her to the other aspects she is aspired to do, and monitor both. And at a stage, you realize where she does better. Because in our time in the schools, they have career guidance counseling. So as you are in the school, you have somebody overlooking what you are good at. So as it's time to move away from headmaster subjects, and you are supposed to choose your subjects, as you are in Form 3 and stuff like that, then you know the area to go. Sometimes they even invite a parent to discuss with them.
We have doctors who are bad at science and maths and biology and all of that now, these days, because their parents encourage them to see beyond what their potential is. So if we're going to say, if a child comes to say, because I'm good at literature, I can't be a doctor, is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily. The thing has to be, you have to be passionate about it. You have to, something you are ready to learn about. It will not come to you because you crave it. You work towards it. Okay. So if I want to be a doctor and I'm always afraid of things to do with syringes or cuts and seeing blood coming out and stuff like that, I have to tune my mind that the field I want to be, I have to make up my mind that those are the things I'll see and work about it.
Better when it comes to your career path?
Not always the case, but quite often till you get to an age you know what you're up to.
Okay. Now, let's take it to the lighter side. There are some kids, like myself, I was a very shy person. I never dreamt I would be able to even sit on even talk with my friends. It was hard for me. If someone told me I'll be a presenter today, I would have laughed in capital letters, you know. How do you tell a child who obviously is so coy about every little thing in life? How do you explain to them that you can never be a presenter when that's what they want to do?
You see, when we are doing career guidance or maybe you are counseling a child, the key word is progressive because they are naive.
Right.
There's a lot of ignorance going on. So the information are coming from friends, some are coming from television, some are coming from environment. So they are in the exploration stage. But you as a parent, you know what the child is good at. So first of all, you pray towards it. You talk to the child, introduce the child, the blissfulness of what he is passionate about. Whilst other people are giving that information, you will also be looking at what you have also told that child. With time, they'll be able to understand that this is the reason why we're doing this. Now, there's something very important, like I said, how to think. We need to help. Do you know that the United Nations have brought something out that people who are going to be rich in this our generation are critical thinkers? So, when we are talking about empowerment, let's help people to think. Another thing that we need to help people is to build their financial capacity.
Is that the most important thing in life?
It's not the most important thing, but you see, money has power. Why? When you're economic... No, it's not only that. Attitude also is there. I mean, we are talking about genuine way. You see, people ought to value you for who you are. You don't have to live depending on somebody always. It's a stage, but you need to move up from that stage to economic empowerment. First of all, know how to earn money. 2, know how to keep money. 3, know how to spend money.
Or when to spend money.
Yes.
Because all of us can spend money.
Yes.
To buy that
how? When I'm saying how, the how is qualified, not that one, the expenditure.
Right.
I mean, that which will always help you. You see, when we don't help people to be economically empowered, they always want to live as beggars or be dependent on others.
Wow.
So when you are talking about women empowerment, you need to talk about economic empowerment too, and attitude. Onye subam papa, to respect people and respect themselves too.
Right. Do parents these days teach their girls value? The reason why I ask this is that I was talking about a beauty pageant queen I met. I'm not going to mention which one. It will be very bad of me, so please allow me. And I was going to do something where she was. And when I walked in, she was all dressed looking nice, you know, beautiful and everything. I walked in and I greeted. She was the only person in the room. I greeted and I didn't hear a response. So I was like, good morning. And she just walked past me. I was holding my things. I wasn't dressed yet. Until be ordering there about where being tina, help will be more important person be. And I dressed up later. And when I came, she was all smiles because she saw I was there to do something. I felt hurt because the person who groomed her is not like that. So all these beauty pageant queens that we see, we think they are grooming them, but maybe the organizers are doing their job, but the girls are not ready.
Exactly.
So the wrong empowerment in this instance, if you ask me, Rev, and you know, Madam Sylvia, because this girl has been given such a huge platform, but look, if this is how she treats people, are we empowering the right woman?
We are. Jesus educated 12 disciples, but there was a Judas. So in everything that you do, it depends on you.
So that woman is a good example for other women?
No, she's not.
Okay.
But she has chosen to put up a bad attitude. And you know what? How many people has she shown such bad attitude to? And what story is she writing about her life?
But the thing is, obviously with the big people, she will be nice. But with...
Suban, what I'm trying to say is that it's very simple. That which is within is what just came out on that day. So what we are trying to say is that you can teach a person everything, but it's up to the person to accept, to embrace, and to live with it.
I wish we had X-ray vision so we would see the genuine women out there. No, seriously, because some of us are on TV talking, you know, nice, but Mama can't be. So our final, you know, comments, please. Your closing remarks on women empowerment.
Yeah, what I'll say that after you've been empowered to dream big and do all sort of things, you learn a skill. When everybody deserts you, your skill lives with you. When nobody is there to applaud you for what you've done, your works will speak for you. So I think that is more important.
I wish you would touch on men empowering women for your closing remarks, because a lot of men talk down on their wives and girlfriends and mothers. And
very simple. Jesus Christ was trained by the woman. Moses was trained by a woman. Serena Williams, their mother. Lennox Lewis, the mother. What I'm trying to say is that women are so wonderful in bringing people up. Great men were trained by women. What a woman who is training, bringing somebody up should do, let your heart be full of love. Don't live in self-condemnation. Believe in yourself and believe that you can make it. Let's have positive thinking that by the grace of God, you'll be able to make it. And let us begin to try something. If you fail, that doesn't mean that is the end. In fact, failure is part of the success story. You live on, and with time, you get better. And smile when you have to smile.
Oh, amazing. The best accessory in the world is free. Just put on a smile and you look beautiful. Personally, women empowerment, I think, is linked with respect for, human rights. I think we should respect each other as women. Because if you don't respect the camera lady behind the camera, or the host sitting here, or the sound lady, how do you expect things to get done? So let's have respect for each other as women. Your power, it lies between you and I. We're back same time on Sunday, right here on Home Affairs. My name is Movi, the Motivator. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys.